Hello my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. One thing that I observed in and I learned in diplomacy and in foreign affairs is that if you build trust with a partner country or partner in crime, let's put it this way, with another foreign minister, then things could work nicely. Otherwise, it depends what kind of message you want to send as a country. If you want to be a country that is seen by others as not trustworthy, which changes from however the wind blows, then you're gonna have obviously a low rating in in dealing with other countries in the way they will trust what you say. But if you are consistent, then they will, some of them will act accordingly. I started this by saying that I think, and you might maybe assess my statement that I will utter in about 15 seconds as naive, but nevertheless I will do it based on my observation and my experience. I think the Russians are naive and they don't learn the way how to make business, how to do business with the Western countries. And that's all I can tell you for now. We have this article from Ukrainska Pravda from July 19th, 2022. And this is the title. Putin says that Russia will not interfere with Ukraine grain exports in exchange for lifting of food sanctions. Are you stupid or something? Or you're naive? Or both? Because you can't be very smart if you're naive. You gotta be stupid. Because that means you don't know how reality works. I don't think this guy, Putin, really understands what's going on. What do you mean? You think that if you are not going to interfere with Ukraine's grain exports, the Western countries will pay the, how should I put it, the favor, will return the favor? They don't look at it as a favor. They look at they are entitled to. You have to do it. After all, they have here the butter and the knife. So they would cut pieces slice pieces to whomever they think need or not, or how much they think is necessary or not. Putin doesn't understand that. He thinks that, oh, you know what? I give you this, you give me that. No, it's not going to work like that. You'll see. He thinks that if he's going to do something here, he's going to get something in return. No, he's not dealing with those kind of people. And I don't understand that how can be so naive. So I'm saying that Russia will not hinder the export of Ukrainian grain in exchange for the lifting of sanctions related to the supply of Russian grain. They do not go together. They don't come as a package, Putin. They don't come as a, buy one, the other one free. It doesn't go that way. They don't have any connections. You are the bad dude. Your country is the bad country here. So whatever you do is not taken into consideration. You are supposed to allow the other country, Ukraine in this case, to deliver its grain. You should not even interfere with that. That's a given. And we, the strong guys with a knife and the butter, will slice you nothing, crumbs for you. That means we're not going to accept your grain at all. We're going to keep the sanctions, but you allow the other country to do whatever it wants. Why? Because you're a bad dude here, and we are strong, and we dictate. That's how it works. How this guy, he's still naive. I don't know what's going on here. How can you lead a country being so naive? Or he's just doing this for a political stunt, saying, see, we're nice and they're bad. I think we're beyond that. We're not at that point anymore. So, source, Russian President Vladimir Putin during his visit to Iran for a meeting with Turkish leader Recep Erdogan. Quote from Putin, and I'm quoting, "We will facilitate the export of Ukraine grain. You should just stay out of it." This is the mentality from the other side. No, Putin, you should stay out of it. From the very beginning, you have nothing to give. You're just stick your tail in a business that you're not supposed to be in. So, out. This is how, and logical, illogical, justified and unjustified. This is the way the other side thinks. You had nothing to do in it. It's like you make us a favor. You don't make any favors. You just interfered in something that you were not supposed to in the first place. That's how those guys look at it. That's my assessment, by the way. So we will facilitate the exports of Ukraine grain, but we assume, well, wrong assumption, that all restrictions related to the supply of Russian grain will be lifted. No, because the thing with Russia blackmails the rest of the world and tries to make it starve by not releasing the Ukrainian grain is BS. You know why? Because they will keep sanctions on Russian grain as long, and they will allow the Ukraine grain to go out. They will not say, well, because the world is starving, we should allow the Russian grain to go on the market as well, so the world that we care so much for will not be starving. No, they don't give a fuck about it. They don't give a about it. You'll see. They say no, Ukrainian grain goes, Russian grain doesn't go. And then we say, hey, what about the world starving? They're gonna say, what? I don't hear anything. What? Crickets. That's what it's gonna be. That tells you how moral and virtuous. You'll see. I keep an eye on this. Only one eye, the right eye. Okay. Assume that all restrictions related to the supply of Russian grain will be lifted. You're just dreaming. You're in a wonderland. Nobody has objected so far. Pfft, you'll see. Just when the decision is about to be made like a real deal, then you'll see how the vultures say no, including the American partners. What the hell are you talking about? Those guys? You still use the word partners for the United States? I wouldn't use it. United States supplies weapons, logistics, intelligence, political influence and help, and financial support to my enemy or to the country that I'm trying to whatever, and that's my partner? No, that's my enemy. Partners. What's wrong with this guy? Is that his double over there in Iran or something, or what? Russian aggression has led to a halt in shipments from Ukraine ports exporting large quantities of oil and grains. This has reduced the global food supply and led to a sharp rise in prices. On 14th of July, during a meeting between Ukraine, the UN, Russia and Turkey in Istanbul, the parties agreed to remove the blockade of the 3 Ukrainian ports for grain exports, with all vessels to be inspected by the Turkish Navy. The corridor for the transport of Ukrainian grain and agricultural products via the Black Sea should start operating this week after the document on its creation is signed. Clear, nice and sweet. But Putin lives in a cuckoo land, it seems like. I don't know, he turned 70 this year. I hope he doesn't go Biden's way, at 70. You know what I mean? What can I say? It's just... I'm going to tell you something, a little story from historical point of view from Romania. It was a Romanian king. His name was Stefan the Great. He lived in 1400s, blah blah blah. I think he died in 1450, so 51 or something like that. He was on the throne about 40 or 50 years, which was a great achievement in those times. Nevertheless, he fought the Turks like crazy. He fought the Poles like crazy. He lost here, he won there, and so on. And so he fought against the Turks more than against anybody else. And on his deathbed, supposedly he said to his, heirs, never trust the West, in this case the Poles. Never trust them. Be allies better with the Turks. And we're like, when I was a kid, like, what? What do you mean? When I was a kid, I was like, what the hell are you talking about, Stefan? The Turks invaded Romania, Moldavia, the real Moldavia, all the time. What do you mean? He referred to the fact that the Turks kept their word more than the West, the Western world. This was his experience. I'm not saying that's true or not, but it seems like, and by the way, Stefan the Great was a Christian Orthodox. The other ones were Catholics, and the other ones were Islamic, right? So I don't know. Now Putin is Orthodox. These guys are again whatever they are, Catholics and Protestants. And the fact is that Ukraine is also Orthodox. I don't know, it's a mentality, or I don't understand. But, and you are in power for about what, from 22 years? You're in the business of this and that, and you've been in KGB, and you can talk shit like this? And American partners? What the hell? Switch that thing, and I'm pretty sure that he considers those guys as enemies and weasels or whatever he's thinking and discussing with his buddies, you know. But nevertheless, our American partners, they are not, they were not, they will not be your partners. Put that in your brain. As you are not, you are not, you will be not their partner. That's the way it goes. You're enemies, and you will be. Why? You are too strong for them. You're too big, too influential. Can't be. Can't be. And it's not, you know, it's like the United States is the bad dude here and Russia is the good dude. No, that's what happens with big countries with big influence and with imperialistic mentalities. That's who it is. I mean, they want to be treated, you know, like this. You can't treat me like that. Yeah, you could between 1991 and 1999. And let's say 2000 to 2007 about. And after 2007, you know, Putin said, hold on, that's it, time out. And the West was like, what are you talking about, you freaking Asiatic, whatever you are? As, what's his name, Truman said, when he heard that Soviet Union tested an atomic bomb, he was shocked. In his memoirs, or in his one of his whatever he said he couldn't believe, he was shocked that those in his head Asiatic people, and you talk about you know, Nazis and those you know, second-class citizens and subhumans, the Slavic people. This was Truman. He said, those Asiatic people, I can't believe they were capable of building a nuclear weapon, an atomic bomb. Former President Truman. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it's just an example. They did. And besides, they're not Asiatic. If you look at their genes, they are Nordic, Viking, all kind of things. Yes, I'm Asiatic too, but look at their, anyway. Not going to go into genetics now, because if we go to genetics, we go to eugenics. When you go to eugenics, we go to Friedrich Nietzsche, and then we go with Richard Wagner, then we go with Adolf Hitler, then we go to concentration camps, then we go to, you know what I mean? And we can't do that. It's just, I'm thinking that Russians are not Asiatic by, you know what I mean, by genes and all that, even by culture. But nevertheless, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.